Hey everyone, welcome to Crypto Data. So today we're going to talk about what's been going on in the market and a couple big headlines the past couple of days. So as you can see, the market's been really choppy lately. Some coins are in the green and some are in the red. So there's not really any trend one way or the other. Right now, we can see Bitcoin is up a little. It's at $7,936. And then the rest of the coins kind of hovering either down 0.5% or up 3%. So no real strong performers in the top 10. We have Tron up 10% and Monero up 5.5%. So, but with that, let's go and look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin has actually been really in a sideways channel. So you can see here, for the past day, it's kind of bounced up and then it's pulled back, bounced up, then pulled back. So it's kind of this extended channel here, and we can see it's close to breaking out. So I think one way or the other, we're going to see it break out either to the downside or the upside. So looking at the support, one of the big support levels a lot of people are looking at is that $7,600 to $7,700. And this was when we had that huge run up from the low it had near $7,300. And then there's a lot of buying. And you can see here the support, it found strong support around that $7,600 level. So this is definitely some level to keep an eye on. And then if it does drop below that, expect it to go to at least, I would say 7,400. And then it may even go down to newer lows. So again, keeping this in mind, a lot of people think the lows have already been put in and, we're slowly going up. But again, just anything can happen. So, always set your stops and make sure you trade accordingly. So looking at some news, a couple days ago, some news came out about Coinbase and it was pretty big. They actually announced support for ERC20 tokens. So this is big news for anyone that knows about ERC20 tokens. Basically, a lot of coins are ERC20. So you see here this token list, some of the most popular ones: EOS, Tron, VeChain, Binance Coin, Icon, Omi's Go, Walton Chain, Digix DAO, and just a lot others. So there's some really big names that are ERC20 tokens, and for Coinbase to announce their support in the future, this is big news. That tells you they're looking at a couple of coins and really looking to add a couple ERC20 coins from what I've gathered from this report. So a lot of people are thinking Omi's Go may be one of the coins that it's going to add. Possibly even Ethereum Classic, maybe another coin that they may add in the future. Of course, there's always rumors about Ripple, but yeah, I think definitely something to keep in mind, because for them to announce support here, I think it's going to open up a lot of doors for these smaller cap coins, and they do have one of their projects that they started was the Coinbase, I believe it was called Coinbase Custody. And this is basically, they provide like a safe haven for a large, investors, where, their securities are, their coins are really secure, and they're able to control large holdings. So if Coinbase, adds support for ERC20 tokens, then whenever those coins get added, it says here that investors will put 20% of their holdings in that token. So again, for these big investors that they're working with, I mean, there's going to be a lot of money coming in for any coins that are added to Coinbase. So definitely something to keep in mind, and some great news for just expanding, the amount of coins supported and just the amount of money that is going to flow through. So definitely something to keep in mind when, looking at their next coins that they're going to add. Another big thing that was in the news a couple days ago was Cboe is actually kind of nudging the SEC to approve Bitcoin ETFs in their new letter. So Bitcoin ETFs have been a hot topic ever since Bitcoin futures were launched last year. And basically what an ETF is it's an exchange traded fund, and it's really catered towards those large investors that want the security of, being able to hold Bitcoin and not be on an exchange. So for example, it gives large investors exposure to Bitcoin while not having the risk of putting their money on an exchange. So this is the key for large investors to come into the space. If we get a Bitcoin ETF, then you're going to see a whole lot of money come into the market. That's when we'll really start seeing, that trillion, $2 trillion, $3 trillion market cap in the cryptocurrency market. So basically the CBOE, in a new letter, they kind of, urged the SEC to reconsider their stance on Bitcoin ETFs. And they said here, although the Bitcoin market is young, the Bitcoin commodity markets are developing quickly, which is promising for future exchange traded products. And then they also talk about their Bitcoin futures and how that's already growing rapidly. And they're starting to see, a lot more investors come into these markets. So again, they're saying that while, it is still fairly new, they believe that Bitcoin ETFs will be a successful venture, and, something that they can definitely see being implemented very soon. So the CBOE, it's, a huge financial market. And for them, to be talking with the SEC and they're, really going for Bitcoin ETFs, I think that just ups the chances of a Bitcoin ETF being brought to the space very soon. So this is something I think it's going to be really the connecting block for, big investors coming into the market. So definitely something to keep an eye on and something I'll be watching for the future. And last but not least, this is an article that was published today, and this is the Abra CEO. Basically, Abra is kind of like an investing app for like Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. And basically, Abra CEO, he predicts Bitcoin price will boom this year. So he mentions that there's some FUD spread of Bitcoin's so-called death cross, which is basically I believe it was the 50-day moving average moving below the 200-day moving average. But he believes that there's a lot of money still that's not in the markets yet. Basically from the West, from the United States, there's a lot of big investors that haven't even come into the markets yet. And when they do, it's going to open the floodgates, and you're going to see, again, those $1 trillion to $3 trillion market cap. So he says here that institutional interest is already starting to tick up in Japan, which he said is a leading indicator of what will soon happen in the West, which he's referring to the United States, regardless of retail interest, which has seen a sharp decline in recent months. He says there's zero large-scale institutional money from the West in crypto right now. This is happening in Japan. Once a large, sizable chunk of Western institutional money starts to come in, watch out. And he says, and his firm is actually backed by American Express, which his app lets users invest in 20 cryptocurrencies and 50 fiat currencies using smart contracts. So, and he expects to, expand his app to support more coins in the future. So, such as, Litecoin and Ethereum. So, for this CEO to, have knowledge about, Japan, more institutional investors getting involved in there, I think he's definitely spot on with the boom happening this year. As people already mentioned, there's targets being spread around 30, 40, even 50,000 Bitcoin by the end of this year. And I think those are definitely realistic targets. All this positive news coming, all these companies getting involved, Coinbase adding support for ERC20 tokens. There's a lot going on right now in cryptocurrencies, and, it's just a matter of time before we have that second boom this year. And I think we'll definitely see it sooner than later. I think these next couple of months are going to be very, very good. Again, we're seeing some cheap prices here with, everything that's been going on. Basically, a lot of these prices are where they were, October or even September. And I think definitely is a great chance to pick up some of these cheap coins. Again, not financial advice, just my opinion, but this is when the money is made, when you buy the coins cheap before they're pumping. So again, use this opportunity if you missed out last time to buy some of these cheap coins so that you don't miss out on this second boom that I believe will happen very soon. So with that, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, comment if you have any questions, and please subscribe if you haven't. Till next time, thanks for watching.